On this episode of Shenanigans Rinse Repeat, we're getting this 1985 Buick Riviera back on the road after 10 years of sitting in here, not being licensed and insured, just in storage. The last time it was started was probably 6 or 7 years ago. So here we go. So this is my grandma's 1985 Buick that she bought off of the original owner, and she bought it sometime in the late 80s or early 90s, not super clear on the story there. But this served as my grandma's daily driver for many years, and then it became the family's extra vehicle to have around in case anyone had a vehicle down or needed to borrow one or something like that. So my cousin actually daily drove it during high school, and then me and a couple other cousins kind of drove it here and there. And then ultimately, the poor thing got parked in here and forgotten. And there was a drain on the battery that would pull the battery dead after, I don't know, a couple days or maybe a week or so. And it never got addressed, and every time I went to start the car, I had to jump it and pretty much boil the battery back to life. So I'm going to put a new battery in it to get started here, and once I get it back out and on the road and get to driving it, then I will track down the drain on the battery. But I'm going to get in here and let's just kind of look it over really good. Like any old car, it's got its bumps and bruises. The fillers in here are busted up from being backed into with lawnmowers, and then I think the FedEx guy backed into it at one point. And the clear coat on the hood is pretty much baked, and the clear coat on the roof is almost baked. And then the soft top, which I think they called this Landau top maybe, because it's this back section here. I'm pretty sure that's what they call it. Don't know. It's roached, and the fillers back here are also, oh look, a whole spider mansion. Ugh. The fillers back here are pretty much Riviera. So it's funny, this car actually has been one of my favorite cars that I had the pleasure of growing up around, because it's just a big, old, 80s square GM product. I mean, they're big, beautiful cars. Got a little bit of that going on. And I think I'm going to go full circle back around to the driver's side before I get into the interior. But look at these wheels, dude. Oh my gosh. Got the white wall. So, speaking of the white wall tires, I already bought tires for this. And it needs to be at the tire shop in about 3 or 4 hours. Should be fine. All right. Oh, look at that beautiful hood emblem. I'm gonna get the trouble light. Got the makeshift workbench going here. Got 75 feet of trouble light cord, not to be mistaken with an extension cord. It's an old trouble light that the cage fell apart, and it's feeding this trouble light. So, see if I can... Okay. Can I just get this to cooperate? What's the deal? Come on. We're getting it. I'm getting it. Okay. Woo. It's moldy enough, but you know what's crazy is the door panel here and the steering wheel are the worst of it, because look at these seats. Look how beautiful. Sticky in the back. Oh, have some trouble light. Oh my gosh. Just a little bit of mold speckled over there. The headliner is surviving, barely. So yeah, I mean, this is gonna need very, very deeply cleaned, but I've seen worse. I need to get in here if I can. There's not enough space here. Okay, I'm gonna see if I... Get out of my comments with roll the window down, it'll be easier to get in. They're only the best of the best, eh? Okay. Man. Oh, this car's so comfy. Come here. There we go. Wow. The styling of this car is just... I've always really liked it. The gas pedal hinges at the floor instead of up under the dash, so it feels really weird whenever you drive it. Definitely should not have just stepped on the throttle, but you know what? I think it's just fine. Also, I just realized there's no keys in this, so that's extremely alarming. I wonder if they're in here. No, there's some golf tees. I can only do so much here. Come, I need the glove box open. I need you to. Could you? How do you? Oh, there we go. Evidently, you just need to do a bunch of motions to get it open. So, oh, the registration expired in 2014, but it was off the road pretty long before that. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. So 7 years since it had legitimate registration, but probably closer to 9 or 10, I'd say, for the actual off-the-road number. I don't know why that glove box doesn't shut nice. Okay, so I'm in it, and it's super awesome. It's got, oh, just throw the camera around. It's got 88,975 miles on it. Oh my gosh, this thing has a trip. That's crazy. I thought that this didn't have a trip and that you just had to subtract off of your odometer reading. That's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what kind of mileage it gets once it's all tuned up, fully fixed, and completely gone through and back to road ready and back on the road. I'm putting the visors up because they were sagged out. Oh, maybe they just sag, and that's what that is. I'm gonna check and see. I was the last one to start this, and I wonder if I stashed the key under the floor mat. Look at that. Right there they are. Great minds think alike. I mean, it's the same mind, but... Oh man, one of the cool parts about this car growing up was the ashtrays in the back. Man, oh my gosh, this car is so cool. I'm so excited. This revival has been planned since I started the YouTube channel, and I needed to get all of my ducks in a row. before I could afford to put tires on it and get it going again. So I guess I should have checked for a hood latch. I'm gonna go see about a hood latch. Oh my gosh, just look at the body line of this thing. And that red double pinstripe, one thick, one thin, and how it kicks up in the back over the rear tire. Man, the styling of this car is just beautiful. Buick, I've heard it often called the poor man's Cadillac, but to heck with Cadillacs, man. I'd rather have a Buick. These things are just, they're so cool. I think they have a little bit more beauty to them that appeals to the general public, whereas Cadillacs, more of an exclusive love that people have for Cadillacs, which is great. I'm glad that people love them. They're just not, I don't like Cadillacs. Look at all the animal prints going on there. Can you see them? There was a dog food bag, that one, sitting on here for like 6 or 7 years. And when I opened the doors earlier, the wind blew it off. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get this hood lifted up. This car is pretty much like 70% hood and 30% the rest of the car. I'm gonna get this hooked up to the tripod. You don't need to watch me. Look away. I'm getting it hooked up to the tripod. Hold on a second. Okay. Can you see the car? Are you too far back? You need to come forward? Is that too close? I don't know. It's fine. I gotta recalibrate my hat. Oh, come on, baby. Oh. Vice Grip Garage procedure right there. He always tells you or talks about how on these old cars with these big hoods to work these springs and struts and stuff a little bit at a time. And oftentimes they'll come back around. That definitely won't fall on my head later. Huh. There's an engine in here. It's got yep, about 750 times more vacuum hoses than it should need. Which is awesome. It'll be super easy to work on. You see what I'm talking about here? All right. First thing I'm going to do is get the breather off of here and see if there's a mouse nest in it. Wow, that is a tight unit. Make sure to set that wing nut where I'll lose it. Oh gosh, okay. Gotta get a screwdriver. Okay. By some miracle, the mice weren't able to make it in there. That's pretty wild. Huh. Oh my. It's that's a carburetor, evidently. Okay. Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is way more complex than any old car I've ever gotten under the hood of. But I'm not afraid of it. I'm just going to be cautious of what I do. I wonder if the carburetor's free. Evidently, that's not how that works. Oh, I guess it's choked right now? Maybe the choke is set? I can't tell if the accelerator pump's seized up, but it sounds like maybe the accelerator pump is free. It's really hard to tell. I'm going to check the oil. Huh, nice, it's got oil in it. It's about the color of Barks root beer. And filled all the way to the top of the range on there. So that tells me that it doesn't leak super bad. So there's that. I'm basically just staring at this, trying to figure out which one of these is the fuel inlet, so I know which one to hook my gravity feed tank up to that I'm going to run the car off of. And then I guess I got to find the fuel pump. So I'm just going to crawl around the car and try to figure out all of the ways in which it is a car. And then I'll let you know what my plan is from there. Oh, my cameraman's back. My cameraman is Dad today. Alright, so turns out that's all way too complicated, and you pretty much have to take the air conditioner compressor off to get to the fuel pump. And the only way around that would be if I had some fittings and could take the metal fittings off and the metal line off at the carb and then put a new fitting in, just a little stubby to put some rubber line on. So I'm going to hook the new battery up, see what all electrical works, and see if the gas gauge works, which I doubt it does, but I mean, how will we know if it works? It may register something and be something else, but I don't know. Either way, I end up just dumping fresh gas in on top of the old gas and really hoping for the best, which is not ideal. I can't get this battery out of here. I need one of them fancy picker-upper things that Battery Specialist has. Yeah, it's pretty much just watching me struggle at this point. It's a nice heavy battery right there. It helps. It helps you. It makes it easier if you make a bunch of racket and grunt and carry on. Oh gosh. I got my ratchet stuck in here. Alrighty. So, I'm gonna waller myself back inside. Ooh, I can roll the window down now. Make it easier to get in and out. We got lights. The mold smell in here is pretty intense. It's super gross. The seats are okay, it's the everything else that's covered in mold. Okay. Car is leveling. Yeah. So, gonna go ahead and say that's probably the battery drain. Yeah, for sure. I don't see it doing anything. It has over a half a tank in it. Yeah. It's working its way to 3/4. Okay, while I cry about that, I'm gonna roll the window down. It works. The window works, so now all those cobwebs are down inside the door. Oh. That was a lot of stuff. Huh. Well, it's got over 3/4 of a tank. Shit. That's not ideal. No, it's not. Not ideal at all. So, I think the only thing I can do at this point is dump my fresh gas in on top of it and pray, because I don't have the time budgeted right now to undress the entire front of the engine to get to the fuel pump. And I'll tell you what, when I do have the time to do that, I'm putting a new fuel pump on this damn thing while that's already undressed. Just to be on the safe side. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put the crazy breather assembly back on. Okay. Well now, there it is. Found this, Dad found this oil can that doesn't have anything in it yet. So, I'm gonna put a little bit of gas in it and see if it works, first of all. And if it does, fill the bowl on the carburetor. And then put the big crazy breather assembly back on. Oh good, the cap on here is cross-threaded. Does the cap have to be on this thing to make vacuum? I don't know. Or suction? I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of an oil can. Holy cow! Work? I guess. It'll shoot as far as you want it and as hard as you can pull the trigger. I wonder if it's flooded yet. Oh yeah, you can hear the fullness. You want to do some breather assembly, reassembly, or dump some gas in the back, one or the other? Behind the license plate. Which one do you want to put in there? Which one do you want to put in? That one and this. How much do you put in that can? In the oil can, it's maybe half full. Should I? I'll go ahead and top it off. Well, that way if we need to use it to put some in the car, we can. I don't want to jinx myself, but back whenever I was working out here a lot, this thing started for me every single time. And I took it on a lot of joyrides, and it didn't leave me stranded anyway. Okay, fuel intake. We got fresh fuel on top of all the old nasty fuel. Well, never know. I'm not turning that, oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not turning that fuel cap to where you have a key. That may be better. Thank you. Where's the cap for this one? Never mind, it's sitting right over there. Alright, so I'm going to get camera 2 going, and I guess we'll see if it runs. See what happens. Downright impressive. I need to get that can of Berryman's, and I guess we'll dump it in that to dump it in there. Do you think I can get it into the nozzle back there?
Well, we could take this off the can and just pour it down in that.
We'll do that.
We'll have to have that key again, though.
It sure does stink. Golly.
Merriman's in.
Sweet. He doesn't like the camera. Yep, it's pretty smoky. I'm gonna get out of the cancer zone. I'm gonna get the air hose and try to shoot some stuff out of there.
Oh, off the intake and stuff?
Yeah. I cannot believe it's sitting here idling. I have the air compressor running for a few more minutes and then it'll shut off. Sitting there idling away. Same old reliable car I always remember it being. It's got leaky valve cover gaskets, it looks like. See what's going on inside here. Okay. The fuel gauge went to 1 billion, so maybe it's broken and doesn't work. That'd be so cool. Hey, the fuel gauge went up to infinity amount of gas, so maybe it doesn't work. I'm hoping it doesn't work. We got a leaky valve cover gasket, which sucks. So there's no warning lights on in the dash, which kind of blows my mind. So I'm gonna put some load on this baby with the headlights and see if we got headlights and taillights. I think we're burning off a lot of garage dust and old greasiness. Hey! We got headlights. And we've got taillights. And the exhaust cleared up beautifully. The exhaust is crystal clear now. Man, what a good old machine. Golly. Dang good machine. All right, I'm gonna drag the air hose over here, air up the tires a little bit. I'm gonna check the transmission fluid, actually. About exactly where it should be. Transmission fluid's perfect. All right, I'm gonna start airing up some tires. All right, first time it's moved in 6 years.
gonna wash that off or what?
Yeah. First time seeing daylight in 6 years. Now, I know a lot of people like to talk smack about smog era automotive stuff that's got all that vacuum and wiring and all kinds of craziness underneath the hood, but for it to run off of that old gas and start up and the choke ran up to full temp, it's sitting here idling. I mean, it's like it was like it was back in there yesterday. Absolutely crazy. So I'm sure later on I'll be cussing that smog stuff and all the vacuum and wiring, but as of right now, I'm impressed. Time to start packing up tools, I guess. Goes black after a little bit to save battery life.
It still records audio though?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna go out to the road and back.
Okay.
I'm trying to set the trip right now and I think something sprung in there. Alright, so I drove about 6 miles and got her up to 65 and smoothed out the tires just a little bit. I forgot last time I drove this thing, but it instantly came back to me that it pulls to the right, so something is due for service in the front end. But honestly, I think it may be a drag and brake, which would be fine, because that just means that it needs those new rubber brake lines that go to the caliper, and I knew that that was going to be a thing anyway. But it's not dragging drastically. It just barely, it's not too bad. Anyway, we just topped off the tank, and it only took like 2 or 3 gallons, so maybe the fuel gauge works. I don't think it does. But anyway, we're set now at 88,980 with a full tank, and we're headed to the tire shop to drop it off. I wonder if you guys can see the vibration in here. It's not too bad at all. There's 60 miles per hour. Yeah, I think 60 is pretty much maxed out for right now. It's vibrating, but I've driven on sketchier tires before. I'm trying not to make a habit of it as I mature. What a machine. Okay, just about 5 or 6 miles to go to the tire shop, so I'm sure it'll be pretty uneventful. Tomorrow morning I'll pick the car up and we'll head on a 40-mile drive to my house. And I'm excited. What a machine. Nothing like reviving a good old car to bring your spirits up, right? Alright, just picked the tire, just picked the Riviera up from the tire shop. I got one of them in here with me because the trunk has so many tools and stuff in it. But from here, her first voyage is 20 miles to go have some lunch with family, and then 40 miles to my house after lunch. And on my way home, I'm gonna stop at the car wash and give it its first bath in 10 years. It's gonna be pretty cool. So, gonna hit the road. Well, 20 miles in. It's like driving a couch with these new tires on it. It is so smooth. You end up cruising along and just being so comfortable, and the cruise doesn't work. I got to do some tracing and figure out why the cruise doesn't work. And you look down and you're going 75, like, oh my, it's so comfy you don't realize what you're doing. So 20 miles in, no complaints. I'll catch up with you guys after lunch, after I get some more miles in. Well, I got this door panel wiped and the steering wheel wiped and half of the dash wiped. I'm knocking down some of this mold because it's pretty gross breathing it in there. I know I'm not deep cleaning it right now. I'm just getting the worst of it knocked off, which is I mean, it's the worst of it. All right, I'm gonna get this side wiped down. All right, made it, the trip's got 50 miles on it since I filled it up with fresh fuel, so today I've gone 44-ish miles. Anyway, we've got 50 miles on the car so far. We're at the local car wash, and time to finally give it a bath for the first time in 10 years. All shiny and clean. Let's get some sunshine on her. Well, it's all washed up. Shiny as it could get, and I'm just about 7 or 8 miles from home. The Rivi's home. I've put close to 60 miles on this car since I got it out of the shed. Reviving it did not take much work. Just some fresh gas and a battery. So It's a tire shop. Put some new tires on there. And I gave it a wash. Now it's time to just start driving it and enjoying it and catching up on routine maintenance from the last 10 years. Well, 6 years without being driven at all, but 10 years of being off the road. Just regular stuff. Gonna check over, probably replace the rubber brake lines, a lot of the rubber things that are dry and rotten, and just do an oil change, plugs, and you know, the standard stuff that just needs serviced that hasn't been serviced in a while. Gonna try to maybe get some of that trim off of there. I don't know. I know one thing though is I'm gonna be driving it all the time, enjoying it like it should be. If you're new to the channel, I highly recommend that you check out all the videos that are on the channel. We did Hot Rod Power Tour 2021 in that Malibu right there. And there's revivals, there's camping trips, there's road trips, four-wheel drive stuff, truck stuff, four-wheeling stuff, car shows, motorcycle content, kayaking content. I don't even know what all there is. There's just that much. There's so much stuff on the channel that I can't remember what all there is. So all I ask is that you check out all the other videos, watch them, like them if you want to, comment if you'd like to, subscribe, and stay tuned because there's a lot coming to Shenanigans Rinse Repeat. Thanks.